right, cool. All right, mic check. Or something like that. Mic check, Mr. Blue here. TradePhantoms.com, live, YouTube. Of the tube. TradePhantoms.com. Let me set this up. Minneapolis, good morning. Rain's good. Water's life. Water is life. What's going on, Rick? All right, cool. Think this is good right now here. Y'all should be able to see. I get some YouTube studio going, that's for sure. It's a lot easier. What's going on, Jason? Hey, Joseph, Joe Openshaw, Montu. Phantoms in here. Probably all Phantoms in here. Eric A, my man. Eric A, feeling blue. Let's turn that frown upside down. All right, I think I got this fairly decent. For good enough to go, to hit the screens. Cool. Today's date, August 29th, which is brings us to a Thursday. It is the year 2024 AD. And this is a live trading and analysis, kind of morning kind of session, if you will, for an hour. Spend an hour with y'all here, give you a taste of what it's like to be in one of our trade rooms at TradePhantoms.com. Again, we have a lot of Phantoms in here already. Y'all know the drill. But I'm going to be Mr. Blue here, and as they call me, and I'm going to focus predominantly on futures and stock options at the moment. That being said, let's dive in and kick this off. And we will start with futures, but just really quickly, think or swim here. But just really quickly, supply demand supply, however you want to say it, is the core foundation of kind of what Phantoms is going to be looking at. Right, institutional order flow from a top-down approach, multiple time frame analysis. Okay, so I always bring this up every day, monthly, weekly, daily, high time frames, color code. I'm not going to read everything here, but there's a checklist here. All right, that could help you kind of just kickstart your trade plan or your trading for the day, understanding last month's high, last month's low, and what the condition of the higher time frames are, last week's high, last week's low, weekly condition, daily, yesterday high, yesterday low, what is the daily condition, inside, outside day, etc. Got a couple candlesticks here, bullish candlesticks, great, bearish candlesticks, location being predominantly the key aspect of these candles. It's focusing on their proper ones, okay? And then what we trade a lot here at Phantoms is a demand supply with a high focus on liquidity, accumulation, distribution. Right, we're getting on the right side of the market, right side of the trend, and riding. Cutting losers, ride winners. Okay, so there's a whole process and system in which we do that. And so I'm going to give you a little taste of what kind of that's like if you're here on YouTube, right? So we'll start off here with the futures. I'll click over here to the major 4 indexes here. So I got the everything on the daily time frame here. Even though we start with the higher time frame, monthly, weekly, daily. All right, what you'll see right now, real quick, is just to give you a quick rundown. Is the daily time frame. I got the S&P futures on the upper left. I got Nasdaq upper right, Dow Jones lower left. I got Russell 2000 bottom right here. If I just make this one bigger here and dive a bit more deeper into the S&P futures, you can see. Just long story short with this, I'm not going to go all the way back here to mention this, but we had a nice little drop. Okay, using that Japan, monetary policy change as that low, and we've been in a nice, quick move higher up a couple weeks ago in the early August. But however, for the past week, I'd say last week, coming into this week now being Thursday, you can see the S&Ps are kind of sideways up here, kind of basing, right? So we've had a couple of inside days, not really moving higher, not really moving lower, not really moving higher, not really moving lower. So, we're trying to poke its head up above here a little bit, but we're getting sold back off a little, poking our head a bit lower down here below some daily bar lows. All right. But there's really no movement right now or no follow through bullish or bearish at the moment. Okay. Now that could potentially change, of course. All right. We talked a lot about conditions. We actually had a little lesson on conditions yesterday with the group at Phantoms. But as you can see right now, the markets are just kind of fairly quiet right now. One thing I did mention to the group, I'll bring up in a moment. I'm not sure if I brought it up on YouTube, but the SPX equal weighted index is at all-time highs. Okay, so versus the SPX and the SPY is not at all-time highs, not equally weighted because FANG stocks like Apple, Google, Amazon, etc. All right, the Nvidia are not leading this market anymore. All right, they're pulling back a bit more. Well, they're still in their pullback phase, and they're off their highs. So other markets, other stocks are making almost like all-time highs. So the market's more broadening out. I'll show you all a chart in a moment. But the key thing right here, right now, just the key takeaway, without rambling here, is just to be very diligent in your levels here because we've been in range. Okay, we've been in range for quite some time now, going into almost 2 weeks now. All right, so I'll drop down to the smaller time frames in a moment to give you some levels. Actually, the levels that we already previously have kind of worked out. You'll see that in a moment, which if you had those levels kind of pinned. NASDAQ, I can say the same thing here. NASDAQ, however, I will say, did break out yesterday. QQQs and S&Ps, we did break out a bit yesterday with the with tech being a bit more, I would say, relatively weaker to everything else at the moment. So, Qs did break out to the downside yesterday. I did actually miss a trade on Qs yesterday, but some of the team at Phantoms was really doing very well yesterday in Qs, which is good to see. But I'll go to the Qs in a moment, QQQs, which is the ETF. This is NASDAQ futures on a daily time frame. As you can see, we did have a couple levels down here. You might not be able to see it on the gray background. I'll switch to the darker background in a moment. But again, same thing with this, where we have, there goes the Japan low. We kind of came up. We actually did have a couple levels up here, even on YouTube for free there, where, I was mentioning that we had this 20,000 level and this 20,100 level, where we had what's called a supply zone level on level. If you ever, spend some time with Mr. Black in terms of institutional order flow, demand, supply, level on level is a very powerful thing here. So I was expecting this level to break, came back up. So that's so far right now. Long story short, is that 20,000 handle, that 20,000 mark in that daily supply to the left is essentially the high of the S&P NASDAQ. I'm sorry, S&P, the NASDAQ futures right now. Not that all-time high. That's the all-time high at the moment, but just the high, which is going to be an anchor point for this little pullback that we have right here. Okay, so but there is some stuff down in here in demand, which you'll see in a moment. And I've been mentioning to the group, of course, always just being patient and understanding where you are, relatively speaking, on the higher time frames. Okay, so this is QQQs. So we have a couple things here where I was doing a lesson where understanding the higher time frame macros, impulse correction, higher high, higher low on the monthly in orange, and then we have a smaller fractal lower low, lower high on the daily over here, in this cycle right here for the Japan drop. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that we did have this engulfing bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. We did break down yesterday on NASDAQ with some decent opening price action. All right, but I will say this, I'll leave it here. The monthly VWAP and the Japan low VWAP, volume weighted average price. We talk a lot about that inside of the classes and things like that in the live trade room. There's a lot of stuff rebalancing out right here in the NASDAQ. So we have a couple of unfilled gaps here as well. Okay, so that's one of the things that we were looking for or looking at in the event that this market just pulled back off these off this impulse move here. Okay, we have some supply to absorb, pull back. So we were looking at this potentially as a potential little pullback area here, and then that would form kind of like a right shoulder type deal there. Okay, but it's too early to say that right now. We haven't really quite touched that level. But getting back to the NASDAQ futures, okay, this is futures. As you can see in the futures, we also have a couple levels down in here, and even you can see overnight, which you'll see in a moment, we had a level down here, which I had pinned for quite some time, 19,000, what is it, 170 something here, and right now that's the low, the Globex low of NASDAQ futures. Okay, so NASDAQ is a bit more weaker as it stands relatively just for right now. All right, tech sector a bit more weaker. So We'll see. Now, be cautious of this, because if tech does just hold some bids, that could pull the S&Ps up to making all-time highs if the tech sector wants to get back and play ball. Okay, we go through what's called a sector rotation. Where we break down the sectors, and technology sector is very heavily weighted in the S&P 500. Okay, Nasdaq is all tech, but the S&P 500, the major index, is heavily weighted in terms of weight, right? So technology makes up 30% of the S&P sector alone. Okay, second comes financials, which is 13%, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So tech is extremely important to understand, and right now that's kind of what's holding the markets, S&Ps and Nasdaq, just down off their all-time highs, at least for the time being right now. Okay. Also, we have Nvidia earnings. I'll talk a little bit about that too as I go through the process here. They beat earnings, but right now Nvidia today, slight gap down. I was actually expecting not too much of a mover yesterday off these earnings, because the energy in Nvidia is kind of died down a bit here, right? So Nvidia gapping down right now, 3.5%, 4 points, which is virtually nothing in something like Nvidia. All right, so that could drag the market down just a little bit. All right, but what I'm going to be looking to do, just to let y'all know right off the cuff, I'm actually going to be selling some puts. There's still some high implied volatility after earnings, so I'm going to just sell a put credit spread basically right off the open. I did take a bull call debit spread, risking about $1.80 in those spreads that I'm taking a loss on. Okay, so what I'm going to look to do this morning is on this little gap down here with implied volatility still high, I'm going to look to do a bull put credit spread for Friday's expiration tomorrow. All right, I'll show y'all what that looks like off the open. Fair enough. All right, so let me get back to the futures market just really quickly. I got to speed this up a little bit here. So just going back, let me switch to the monthly, weekly, daily here. S&P futures. Okay, so I got the monthly on the left, I got the weekly here in the middle, I got the daily here on the right. Iron Condor was beautiful. I talked about yesterday. Steve from Phantoms Group here. Hey, what's going on, Steve? Yep. Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. You did the Iron Condor. Yeah, you should be good, my friend, because now you have implied volatility drop. So yeah, you were down here anchored at the 110, give or take, 109-ish. And then you were kind of up here at the 140. So this is beautiful for you because you don't have a greater than expected move. So yeah, you're gonna sell. You're gonna collect your premium, brother. Good job. Congratulations. Good job, brother. Good. Happy to see it, my man. Good job. Cool. Good trade. Monthly, weekly, daily on S&Ps. All right, I'm gonna drill down to and then I got the 60-minute time frame here. 60-minute, 1 hour time frame upper left. I got the 30 lower left. I have the 5-minute here in the middle, and then I got the 2-minute time frame here on the right. Multiple time frame analysis. Okay, top-down approach. Monthly, weekly, daily. All right, I'm not going to go through the monthly, weekly, daily. We go through that a bit more with time. First thing that we want to do here, map out what's called our Globex highs and Globex low, which is overnight high and overnight low. S&P futures, 1 hour time frame. All right, right now we are basically we just put in a Globex high. We did have, I forgot to mention, a lot of stuff here to talk about this morning, but we did just have news at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here. GDP, unemployment claims, etc. So that news is already out. So obviously we want to see how the markets reacted to that news. All right, we already started this after this was done. All right, so you can see futures are up. Futures are up slightly, 0.26% in the S&Ps. Okay, so this is a Globex high right here, represented by this blue line here. And I'm going to also map out the Globex low. If I just zoom in a bit here, might be able to see that a bit better. Globex low being right here. All right, and in Thinkorswim, this gray space is the overnight session, so it kind of grays that out. So it's easy to kind of see what's happened overnight. And as it stands right now, that's the Globex high, that's the Globex low. Now, real quick. We talk a lot about the proper levels, the institutional levels of demand, institutional level of supply, right? So as you can see, not to, just to give you a quick little update, we did have this 5580 price point level on the S&Ps with some major open interest on the put wall in S&Ps as well. And as you can see, this level, I'm not sure if anybody took this, but the 5580 that we've had for days and days and days, right? We came into there yesterday and we took a nice bounce out of there, right? We took a nice bounce out of there, right? Y'all see that right there? All right, came back up to some VWAP, this white dashed line balanced out. okay, then ding, 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 market closed. All right, y'all see that 55.80. Okay, so that was the next level down, because this down over here before that happened, this was all junk. This was all junk. This was all tested. Okay, so we've had that 5580 level pinned. Okay, we got a nice move out of there. Okay, a nice almost 40-point move out of there. Okay, came back to VWAP, and then ding ding ding, market closed yesterday, right? Now the S&Ps, they open up, or futures, okay, they open up. They close for about 30 minutes. At 6 p.m. Eastern, they open up. So the S&Ps opened up, okay, back 30 minutes later after the market's closed, or a couple 2 hours after the market's closed at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then the long story short here is we ripped we came down a bit more. And then if you notice, we have the next level of institutional demand right here at 5560. Okay, 5560. And as you can see, that's essentially almost the low of where we are right now. The low of S&P futures right now overnight is 5561.25. So just a 0.25 off of that level right there. Right now, why did price move so fast, so quick from that level? Why? Because it's a nice, what's called an impulse, a basing impulse, IBI, institutional prime fresh level of demand that has not been tested yet. Okay, so long story short, all right, especially if you spend some time with Black, where he talks a lot more in detail regarding that. Okay, all right, we're all looking at the same thing as professional traders. All right, but he spends a lot of time on that. Okay, but as you can see, just to let y'all know, the markets have been kind of weird and grindy and sluggish and rangy and stuff like that. All right, but when this market opens up and it moves with some volatility into high quality levels, okay, you got to be aware of that. Okay, so it's just good to see, all right, to instill confidence and discipline into your trading and investing in terms of levels, being patient for the right ones. Okay, it's not about trading a lot, it's about trading almost less, but waiting and being patient for the proper area, the proper zones. Okay, that is a discipline that you must develop to grow into a good trader. Okay, there's certain traits that you must develop in a human being. Okay, so that being said, here's the Globex low. Even if this market did come back and test this area here, because we did not dip so deep into this level, there's such a high imbalance of demand supply. In terms of Globex trap, if we break Globex low, just like we did yesterday, we broke Globex low and came into the higher quality level, which we had pinned. If we break Globex low, that would be below here, and that would be coming deeper into this level right here. Okay, so I would still keep pinned the 5560 and then the 55, call it 45 down in here, because in the event that we do break, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but if we do break below this Globex low, all right, we do have some unfinished business, so to speak, in this demand zone that might be used as a nice anchor point for some bullish trades in the event that we come back down here. Okay, all right, there's still some stuff in here. Okay, now we broke this area overnight in futures. Okay, but the S&Ps were closed yesterday. So if you look at the S&Ps in terms of SPY and SPX, the ETF and the cash index of the S&P, my favorite, SPX. This put wall that we've had for, I even think we even put this on YouTube for quite some time, that was being used even last week. I even had a trader in Phantoms yesterday take a trade right off this level. He called it out in the room, 60-minute IBI right here with this put wall, and as you can see right here, boom, it just cannot give out. It just cannot give out right now. This is SPYs. All right, so now S&P futures dipped down a little bit more deeper coming into this level and picked up some liquidity, and now futures are popped up here. Okay, so that's where we are. Okay, so again, we stress a lot in Phantoms becoming multiple asset traders. Okay, so it's not just about trading one asset class, say Forex, or just one asset class stocks or options. Okay, you might want to learn one at a time. Okay, but we stress a lot to train traders to to have multiple asset classes under their arsenal, okay? Because this market is interconnected, okay? Your options trading will help you with your futures trading, or vice versa, okay? Will help you with your Forex trading, all right? So anyways, let's move on. So that put wall is still dominant there, okay, on SPYs, all right? If I were to look for a Globex short trade, okay, there's a Globex high. We have this level right here, all right? I got the 56, 55, 65 handle as well up here, but be very careful with this. Again, macro bull market still, okay, this overall basing. We'll see NASDAQ and S&Ps picked up some liquidity yesterday, okay, so we'll see how this plays out here, but I would be very careful with this level right up here. This has been tested a couple times now, not prime, not fresh, okay. I would not be surprised if we absorb this level and we can potentially come higher up into the 5680, give or take, in the S&P futures, where that's going to be close to the all-time highs up here, highlighted in pink. Okay. I'll do NASDAQ futures. All right, so I'll be careful with these shorts up here. I'll do NASDAQ futures really briefly, 9:06 a.m. Let's see, so same thing, monthly, weekly, daily, right? Monthly, weekly, daily. I'll just get straight to the point here, open up the 60-minute time frame. All right, mapping out our Globex high, Globex low. To update, there's our Globex high. There's our Globex low. Overnight high, overnight low. NASDAQ futures, 1 hour time frame. Okay, again, you can see we have this level pinned here, similar to the S&Ps, so 19,350, 19,300, and then boom, we had a nice bounce out of here. Okay, almost the same thing, so nice bounce. That was the first level that we had below price in here. Okay, a bit more aggressive, but we had a bounce, and then we came lower. Same thing with S&Ps, opened up, came lower, and then we came off to 19,175. So again, I'm not trying to make a brag or toot the horn or anything like that. It's just pretty simple institutional order flow, waiting for the right proper zones that we just spoke about, right? So that's basically where the NASDAQ stopped overnight and put in that low. And right now we're off of that, right? We're off of that. So again, same thing, just understanding demand, supply, the proper levels, etc. Great, cool. All right. So now we're up at Globex high. So long story short here, these 19,775s are still decent for a Globex trap short. This morning, we also could potentially look at this area right here with this nice little drop that we had yesterday that broke out from a inside bar to what's called an outside bar candle. We could utilize this area right here just as a potential Globex trap short. Again, shorting is still a little cautious with shorting because we're still in a macro bullish uptrend. Okay, but if I were to put this level right here, 19,640, give or take. All right, I'm going, if you notice for some of my phantoms that are already in here, if you notice, I'm kind of going deeper up. Here's the drop, the basing, and then the drop that created a new low here. So you get some fresh supply. And I'm probably going up a little bit more deeper up into this zone. The reason for that, okay, is because we are still in a macro bull uptrend. Okay, macros. Know your macros. So that's why I'm going just a little bit more conservative and coming deeper into this area. All right, makes sense? All right, so this area is something that you might want to worth pinning here for a potential Globex trap short. All right, and we have a couple other levels up here in addition to that as well. Okay, so if I were to give you the prices here, 19,640 up to 19,000. I'll even just make it even number here, 19,700. All right. Now, one thing that I would that we stress a lot on too as well in phantoms is stop loss placement. So I would suggest to probably not put your stop loss right above that 19,700. Okay, because there could be, especially when we are in a macro bullish uptrend still. Okay, there could be what's called the liquidity sweep. Okay, so you might even want to wait for this level to get deeper into this level. Okay, and wait for a potential flush. Okay, and then have what's called a negative COG. And so therefore you might not be a market maker shark bait where you're just getting flushed out and stopped out. So in English, this could be a liquidity sweep, and it's right above that even number. So even numbers are very, what's the word? Even numbers are, what's the word I'm trying to say? If I were to tell you to pick a number 1 through 10, most people are going to pick even numbers, right? They're not going to pick 1.1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 7, right? So there's a lot of emotion there, right? Predictable, right? So, I would not be putting my stop loss right above this level at 19,702. Okay, all right. It could just be a sweep real quick, and then it mean reverts. Okay, so I'd be aware of that. Okay, after so many years and being trained in New York City, okay, I'm aware of what markets do in liquidity. Right, they'll pick up. Okay, they'll pick up liquidity here. All right. So, anyways, I don't have enough time to speak too much in detail regarding that. All right, there's a time and place for that, and that's kind of in classes, which we have at Phantoms, of course. Okay, in addition to everything else that we do there. Globex trap long. Again, there's still some stuff in here. Okay, Nasdaq's a bit weaker. okay, relatively speaking. So in the event that we do break Globex low, we might want to come down a little bit more lower. The S&Ps, I'd probably still want to pick off the level that we bounced off of overnight last night. But with NASDAQ, I would probably want to come maybe a little more lower to pick up some more demand in the event that we break Globex low today. So long story short with that, moving on, 19,100, 19,000 would be a Globex trap bullish trade in the event that NASDAQ comes down here, which may or may not, right? Right? But be patient with that, because some of you folks that have been following on YouTube for quite some time in this little range here, you might have thought that this 19,175 wouldn't hit. Next thing you know, once we have a breakout, boom, it hits, right? Does that make sense? So again, just being patient, waiting for that, which we already kind of spoke a little bit about there, okay? All right, moving on, let's do some oil real quick. Oil futures, be very careful with oil futures. Here's why: because of the condition. Okay, so we got monthly on the left, range for years. We got weekly in the middle, daily on the right. So very rangy, very choppy. Okay, it's hard to get something really going in terms of a longer term trend. Okay, so this is going to be more of like a oil. If you're trading oil, okay, and I love swing trading futures on oil, but I took my last swing trade like in this cycle over here. All right, and then now it's probably more of a day trader's market. Okay, it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 day, kind of swing move, kind of quote unquote day trader's market. Reason being is because there's really no kind of macro sustainable trend. Okay, it's just you're just kind of bouncing in between the upper and lower ranges on the higher time frames. Okay, so it's gonna be hard to make a call here. All right, so either you stay away from it, okay, or you adapt your strategy, okay. Or just be patient for the levels. Okay, so as you can see here, we have S&P. I'm sorry, S&Ps. So I know I love the S&Ps. I always just have it in my brain. Oil futures, 60-minute time frame. There's Globex high. All right, there's Globex low. By the way, before I go to Globex low, that level we had levels over here. All right, kind of panned out. All right, some of them took a bounce off of here. All right, eventually broke. All right, so just know your levels. Right, we already talked about that kind of this morning. All right, there's a whole process that we go through to make sure you qualify certain levels. Okay, based on condition. All right, and really there's nothing really much to say here other than rangy. Okay, we've had some shorts having to probably get squeezed out here. All right, buy the covers, exits, from long accumulation, buy the enter traders here coming in, and so now we're kind of in a kind of basing again. So just be careful here. With oil, it can kind of go anywhere. This basing is pretty decent in the event that we did want to break out. You can see we have this little base drop right here, which got tested yesterday, which was used as the high. Okay, we cannot break any new lows, and then right now we're just kind of inside of yesterday's. It's an inside day so far in oil futures. Okay, again, the condition is not great. There's not really a trend macro wise. Okay, for quite some time. So again, you want to be a bit more careful with this. If I were to just do things here by the book, we would have a decent little Globex trap, right up here, in the event that we do get up here. Okay, so that comes in at about 76.50 ish. All right, kind of a wide zone up here, so you might want to refine and drill down. All right, G-trap short. Okay, G-trap long. There's a couple levels down here. I want to be more conservative with you folks in here. So you might want to come down lower into the weekly range down in here, yellow. I know this is weekly low range because it's yellow. It's the color code of weekly, right? So, you might want to be a bit more patient. I could see something in here. Okay, if I drill down on the small time frames. Long story short here, price point 73.45. That could be a bit of an aggressive G-trap long for G-trap, what's called the Globex trap long. Okay. All right, so that would be fairly decent. All right, but be super diligent on oil because of the condition. All right, the condition of range. All right, gold futures. Monthly, weekly, daily, macro up. getting to the point, this chart's fairly ugly because of all these notes and lines here, but what I'm expecting potentially is we're in the base right now up here, okay? Last week put in did a little bit of a little doji bar just after coming up new time high, all-time highs. Okay, we're just kind of basing out a little bit here. That's normal. All right, we could come a little bit lower to pick up some more daily demand. So I have this blue level kind of right here. I know it's tough to see, so let me just drill down here. Keep it long story short here. Mapping out Globex high, Globex low. As you can see, yesterday we had a 2330 right here. This little crappy level right here. That kind of just like, just worked out, crappy one though. But this is the Globex low here for today. This is the Globex high here for today. You can see gold just kind of ranging up here, right? So be diligent on this, all right? I'm not even gonna talk about shorting gold because I don't want anybody to just get wiped out if this swipes a new high, especially on this base. If we have just major base break, okay? Be careful with shorting because after this major base, it builds up steam and it can just pop new highs, right? So therefore, I'm going to be more inclined, to lean against demand in the event that we come down into high quality demand. Long story short, these blue areas of demand down in here are more confluent with the daily demand, as I have a note right here too. Okay, so these price points still come in to 2,500. I got 2,490. I got 24. Call it 80. Okay, so kind of every 10 points here at 2,500 and lower. Okay, this is going to be more confluenced, if you will, with some daily demand as well. Okay, we got the rising 20 pin moving out on the daily time frame down in here as well. Okay, so again, this is all kind of junk and gunk here. It could work out if we just hold this base, right? Base break. All right, but be careful because if this does just snap. Okay, if this does snap, okay, there just might be some liquidity that provides some more fall through to the downside. All right, again, if you short it, just be careful. All right, that's probably going to be a very grindy, short-lived trade. As you can see, even this drop right here, it came right into this little level right here and just stopped, put in a wick, and just came right back up. So again, macro picture, know your higher time frames, right? So we always train traders to trade with the higher time frame macro trend to get on the right side of the current. Okay, the ocean, right? The current ocean. Markets have a kind of current, and that comes from the higher time frames, the bigger forces to be. Okay, just like Mother Nature with the ocean. All right, there's waves, opposite waves, but there's an overall current too. And you don't want to swim against that current. Okay, you'll die a slow death. Okay, eventually, there's a bigger power than human beings, right? The current. So markets are a bigger power. Trade with the overall current. All right, moving on. We got 12 minutes before market opens. I'm going to kind of transition a bit here to some stock, equity, and options. Know thy top-down relativity. Yes, sir, Joseph. Yes, sir. Right now, sectors are fairly decent. We got financials just taking the ball and running with it. Right now, financials, healthcare, two of the more stronger and staples. Some of the stronger sectors, right? Yep, Nvidia mark. Nvidia it's a snoozer. Slight gap down, no big deal. I'm wrong on the debits, but I'm gonna sell a credit spread off the open here this morning to catch some implied vol. All right, so this is a gap down, slight gap down in Nvidia. It's 3 points down, 2.76%. So that's a dud, right? Typically around earnings, you want kind of a big move. Right now, Scott, Scott? Is it Scott? Is it Scott? He took an iron condor, so he does not want a big move. So if you were in that class yesterday evening when we talked about advanced options, well, man, we had a good class yesterday talking about multiple strategies that you could deploy here, not only around earnings, but just in general. All right, but since NVIDIA earnings was that evening, we used NVIDIA as a case study thesis. But yeah, I mean, what do you want to know about NVIDIA? It's slightly gapping down. They beat expectations, but it's a slight gap down. But to be honest with you, it's kind of a dud because it's only gapping down about 2.7%. Okay, it can do that non-earnings. All right, so typically you want a big move around earnings, like give me something like 10, 12, 13%, right? So 2% is snooze fest. All right. So what I'm going to do, as mentioned, I'm going to sell a bull put credit spread lower down here to intake some implied vol to offset the $1.80 debit that I put on that I'm on the wrong side of. All right, but even if you went bearish, but directionally bearish, you're probably not making a lot of money on this because implied volatility is dropping and the market didn't really move directional delta enough. Okay, so option sellers are happy. Happy this morning. all right, because they don't have a big move and they just got the implied vol crush Vega bomb. All right, where was I here? VIX. VIX right now down 7%. Okay, down 7%. Down. Let me take this off so it doesn't confuse anybody here. Extended hours. Down 7%. VIX down, market up. VIX up, market down. To keep it simple, there's more to it than that. But for time's sake, market's opening up in 10 minutes less. So want to keep it just simple. VIX down, market up. VIX up, market down, right? To keep it super simple. So you can see this morning down 7%, 8%. That's decent. That's decent. Okay, that's decent. We go through a couple things here where we know what's decent or what's not decent because everything is relative, right? But we also map that all on the higher time frame macro picture. But then we also map this out on the intraday smaller time frame as well. So there's the overnight high in VIX. There's the overnight low in VIX. Okay, as you can see yesterday, VIX was spiking, sustained up, sustained up, sustained up, sustained up as the markets were, especially NASDAQ, were coming down. Okay, coming down, coming down, coming down. All right, the group were doing very well in QQQs. I was on a different thing, different vibe. I was too busy doing other stupid things. Not stupid, but I missed it. I missed it, but it's all good. All right, the team snagged it, which is good. Getting back on track. Yeah, what I mapped out right here is okay. What's all right so far? The VIX is coming down. So if this sustains down and continues down, we might have a and we're above daily VWAP on Qs and SPYs and other tickers. We could continue to rally. Okay, potentially rally. Right, and this is futures are up even with Nvidia slightly down, and Nvidia is a big part of the S&Ps. Okay, so it's actually pleasantly surprising where we have Nvidia slight gap down, but S&P futures are up. So you can see Nvidia over here, market cap wise in the S&P is a big stock. Okay, it's a big weighted stock. So the fact that the S&P futures and Nasdaq futures are kind of like brushing off Nvidia's earnings, even though they were good, but Nvidia's gapping down right now. It's kind of at the moment it's kind of just brushing off. Okay, no big deal. Nvidia had better than earnings and it's down, but S&P's and Nasdaq's futures are up right now, and VIX down 7%. Okay, so keep an eye on that, right? This market, was still in a macro bullish uptrend, right? Dollar index, came down to some weeklies. I don't know if y'all are short dollar, but I started to take some profit on short dollars. Why? Because I'm coming into some monthlies and weeklies down in here. Okay, so know your weeklies. We just touched some weekly levels down in here. Okay, let's see, bonds. Let's just see what bonds are doing real quick. Bond prices are down right now. Futures. So bond price down means yields are up, market down. So bonds are giving us a little odd picture here. All right. Apple is in the news this morning. Ordered a lot more iPhones than expected. What have you? We have an outside gap on Apple. Yes, albeit here's yesterday's close. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Pre-market quote up here 230. 230. So we are gapping out. It is an outside gap. I do like it because we have red bar close, still macro picture up. So it is an outside gap. However, the only thing that is a little that I don't like so much about this outside gap up is that we do have some stuffs in here gapping up into supply. So I want to be a little patient on that on Apple. In that we have this level right here that it has not cleared yet. All right, we do have a 230 call wall. If this sustains up here, okay, there could be some hedging flows coming in Apple. Okay, that's another deeper concept, advanced concept that I would need well more time to explain versus 5 minutes before open. But just be patient. You can see, look at this, it's very volatile. It's not even outside gap anymore. All right, so just be careful with Apple right now. You might want to wait for the dust to settle on that. Amazon, because it's heavy in the news right now with the iPhone orders. For the time being, Amazon, I missed a nice setup yesterday in Amazon. It's a bit more weaker on relatively speaking in terms of the FANG stocks. Okay, we got Apple up here, okay, Nvidia up here, okay, but Amazon's not really playing ball here as much. It's a little bit more weaker. All right, just relatively speaking for right now. To this morning, we closed, yesterday we closed here. This morning we have a slight gap up, inside gap. So just be careful with that. Amazon would be the one that I would be very careful with, for bullish exposure. All right, but right now the gap's not really telling me much. We're just gapping in the middle of yesterday's range, so not ideal. Google was another setup. I always miss Google shorts. I don't know why. It's weird. It's been creepy for the past couple of weeks. So I gotta get back on track with that. But the Google yesterday had a nice bearish setup. But today, be careful with this one because we're back in the middle range. We're back in the middle of the range here on dailies. All right, macro picture. If you zoom out, it's still up. We got yearly VWAP here. We have a little bit of a higher high, higher low here on the small little this little basing here. But we'll see. This one's going to be a little bit more tougher this morning too. Here's why: because we have a gap up, but it's gapping inside of yesterday's range. Okay, and it's going to be a little harder one too because we're above monthly VWAP, we're above yearly VWAP, but we're below weekly VWAP. So that's what's called the disalignment. So what we want to do is have multiple time frame analysis in what's called alignment. Okay, so that's the challenge right now with FANG stocks. Is we're in a macro bullish uptrend, but FANG's getting sold off a little bit or pulling back, and so that we have a multiple time frame disagreement. Okay, so just trade identifying that and structure changes and changes in the marketplace is a good thing, right? Because not one size fits all. Things change, weather changes, so you have to learn how to adapt to said changes. Okay. Tesla did manage to snag Tesla yesterday on a nice little short. This morning, slight gap up. Same thing. All right, Tesla's kind of like a lot of FANG stocks right now, but Tesla's not in a macro bullish uptrend. But Tesla is kind of a trader's market for the time being right now. Meaning, just it's hard to catch a longer term move. It's kind of getting pinched in between everything here. If you look macro picture wise, all right. It's kind of giving us this major triangle here, so just be careful trading Tesla. It's more of a again trader's market. We're getting pinched here, okay, in between this stuff here. So stay tight to the tape, as we say. Slight gap up, decent little gap here, still inside of yesterday's range. So again, just be patient. Tesla has been giving a lot of trap bars this week. All right, so it's been opening, all right, gapping up, and then giving us a wide range bar off open, all right, and then immediately failing that and then coming down. So they actually provided really good shorts this week on Tesla. All right, now that doesn't mean that's going to happen again today. All right, so just be diligent. Okay, we got VIX down 7%. If SPYs and Qs hold bids today, we have to be cautious with that, right? All right, Meta. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. We have a slight gap up in Meta, still inside gap like a lot of things here. Meta is, a bit more stronger in terms of, relatively speaking, for the FANG stocks. Okay, Magnificent Seven made all-time high really quick, just real quick on a little wick right there, just squeezing a quick little all-time high before correcting. We're off the highs right here. All right, but this is just a little correction here, all right, or it could be a deeper correction. We'll see. But right now we have a couple of small body ranges here. One thing I will mention about Meta is that there's a couple of wicks here, right? If we do kind of break above yesterday's high and above this kind of doji bar that got put in yesterday, this could be this is an executionable bar here. This could provide some potential setup here on said Meta. In the event that we kind of snap above this yesterday's high doji bar here. Okay. Again, all things being equal, is Meta Ravi based on the candle? Yeah, I mean we are at supply. I mean this is an all-time high supply up here. All right, so this is just the kind of all-time high supply. All right, now you got to be careful with this with all-time high supplies, right? Because we could, especially Meta has relative strength in FANG right now. So in the event that this market, like let's say SPYs and Qs start to hold some bids in base and starts to break out, Meta is relatively stronger than, it's actually one of the stronger stocks right now in Magnificent Seven. So this all-time high could potentially get taken out easily if this market holds bids. Okay. Let me see in the video. I'm gonna catch a Microsoft outside gap up. Interesting. Microsoft, keep an eye on this. If we can hold above here, this is an outside gap, almost what's called a mortgage gap here. That's a very strong gap. Microsoft up. Nvidia, all right, moving down. I'm gonna sell a credit spread here. I mean AMD. I want to be a little careful with AMD this morning. AVGO inside day, no gap, nothing too crazy there. All right, somebody said XOM. XOM, slight gap up. XOM has been annoying just on the higher time frames here, monthly, weeklies. It's just very rangy, very rangy, very rangy, very rangy. along with oil. So just be careful trading XOM. It's just very sluggish and rangy right now. All right, first order of business here. Let me just check internals really briefly. I want to keep my eye on Microsoft. Microsoft has the better gap this morning. All right, so I want to wait for the opening. Just be patient. You can see SPY's gapping up right in the middle, so just be patient. One of the first things I want to do, though, as mentioned, is NVIDIA. I wanted to sell a put credit spread on NVIDIA here with implied vol being down. All right, they beat their expectations or whatever, but you know we have a gap down. So I want to lock in some credit here on NVIDIA. So I'm going to do this really quick. Tomorrow's expiration. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell a. I'm going to sell a 118 here. I'm going to sell a 118. I'm going to just buy a cheap little contract here for about 10 cents. I'll do the 107 here. So I'm going to lock in this bull put credit spread on NVIDIA here. If you don't know how to do this, I would suggest to not take this. I almost don't want to give this on YouTube because if you don't know how to trade credits, you got to be extremely careful. So I'm going to move on real quick once I get this fill. All right, I got filled at $1. So I want that premium to decrease. So I did a bull put credit. All right, but let me give you all something that's going to be a little bit more simple. All right, AVGO, let's see. I like the opening print on this. The gap was not enticing, but we're off the 20-pin moving average on daily, which I like here. So AVGO, Tesla as well. Tesla actually gapped up above yesterday's open. Meta as well. All right, cool. So we got some tickers here. All right. I'm loving AVGO bar right off the open here. So long call AVGO off the daily 20 period moving average as well. All right, so I'll pick up the 162s for about 230 here. Long call, tomorrow's expiration, day trade. All right, long call AVGO here. All right, let's pick these up to 230, sorry, 240 right there. Let's make a line there to signify that real quick. Let's move on because it looks like we got some nice movement here. Tesla. Tesla's been trapping, so I want to be a little patient with that. AMD off the back of NVIDIA earnings here. Let's see, inside bar, not the greatest. Nice wide range bar there though, I will say. Meta is breaking yesterday's high. So this is kind of fulfilling its prophecy here. So Meta could be a bit more trappy too, but Meta long call here. All right, if you pick up the, you can pick up the 525, or if you want to get a little bit lower delta, you can pick up the 527 half. I'll pick up the 527 half here long call. We're going for about $3 here. All right, Meta long call, 527 half strike. And just got filled at 345 on these. AMD looking decent. Microsoft with its outside gap looking good too. Ooh, I like that. It's holding bids off this. I like how we gapped up on Microsoft above yesterday's open. So we kind of clearing. Anybody who shorted this is waking up today in immediate pain here. The only challenge with this is the markets just is not, the markets are overall basing here. But I got to kind of go with the setup here just off that gap. All right, so long Microsoft call here. I gotta check internals. If I pick up the 417 half, those are going for about 417 half call. Those are going for about 260 here. Long Microsoft call here. I like how he gapped up above yesterday's high as mentioned. All right. All right, so it got filled at 270 they gave me here. Spread's a little wide. All right, gotta be a little patient here. Tesla, doing it, huh? Tesla's similar to Microsoft here. It's not above the daily 20 EMA, so it's not ideal. It's not trapping today. Tesla might be interesting. Let me see, Meta. I want to make sure we don't get trapped there. Let me see, Apple. Apple actually has a nice positive COG here too. Let me just check that daily supply here. Let me check VIX really briefly here. Apple long call looks fairly decent here. We're actually starting to clear a little bit here, so Apple long call. Google, want to be careful with this. It's still inside range. So nothing there. Amazon in a weird spot. Gold. Weird spot. All right, let me see Apple. I don't want to chase Apple on highs here. Had a nice little positive COG. It is clearing. It's not the greatest level 2 on the left, so Apple might potentially pull this market up. We'll see. I want to be a little patient on some bullish exposure here. Right, markets are not. S&Ps and Nasdaq are still in that sideways area, basing. Keep an eye on Qs. All right, Apple, how about a nice little bullish COG right here. All right, if you can handle more bullish exposure on this Apple, let me see. If you do Apple, pick up to 230, that will go for about maybe $2.30. Not too bad there for Apple long call. All right, 230 strike. All right, Tesla's giving us a positive COG. I gotta get long Tesla here. I don't really like it as much on the daily, but be trapping some shorts here today. So 215 strike call Tesla, 215 strike call that bottom one here. That bottom one here. That positive COG is not closed yet though, so I gotta be patient on that. I sort of just filled Tessie here, 240 on the 215 strike call, day trade, tomorrow's expiration. Probably should have waited for this positive COG here, but let's see. Probably should have waited for this positive COG. We're above VWAP. Let's see. All right, you can see this market's not really so far no follow through. All right, Microsoft on new highs here. See what's Meta doing here. All right, on VWAP test, want to be patient, right? Stop loss would be down here if we're wrong. All right, below here, basically 516.19, 516.19. All right, on Meta, let's see. AVGO, so far no follow through so far, folks. Be patient. We're testing VWAPs on a lot of things here. All right, AVGO 175.55. Stop loss on that. VWAP test. All right, I'm checking internals. All right, VIX did swipe a quick little new low here. Down still sub 8%, give or take. Cumulative tick. It's a little early. You want to see how this kind of pans out. Tick, but cumulatively, it's on upticks. Advanced declines gapped up to 1500, but we're fading down on advanced declines. So a little bit extreme on the advanced declines, but we're coming down a little bit here. So that's going to be noteworthy. Vol-D, volume on the New York Stock Exchange here in terms of ratio, buying versus selling volume on the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. Right now it's holding a 1.5 ratio. Extreme would be plus or minus 3. So it's not really extreme. Advanced declines fading a bit there, but VIX fairly steady. Okay. Whoa, that's weird. All right, so AVGO just did this. It's not at the area where if I'm proven wrong on, but I don't like how this is not following through here to the upside on anything here. All right. Microsoft is the only one right now that is in profit. The other ones, I'm gonna have to just give y'all some stop loss risk parameters here. So let me see Microsoft. Let me do that. Let me do that now before we go also Tesla. All right, so let me do AVGO. Well, I already did AVGO. We'll see if that flush holds, right? So stop loss is 157.54. Okay, so if you have AVGO, I've picked up these for 240. All right, if we run a risk profile on that, the stop loss 157.54. 157.54. Enter. What we bought for 240. So this risk is going to be about $1.60 on that. Okay, so if the stock gets to 15754, okay, run a risk profile on that. All right, then we get stopped out. All right, that would be here. Right now it's balancing out just a little bit right now, so don't be emotional on it. All right. Typically, this is why I was saying, you have to be careful with the bullish exposure because these markets are not really raging up to the upside. We're just in basing. Unfortunately, I can't get any perspective on SPYs and Qs really because we're just inside this range. S&Ps are literally dead smack in the middle of this range that we've been in. So it's a challenging time right now. Just in indexes. Tesla, if we were to be wrong on this potentially, usually I don't like to put my stop loss right below the low on day. Again, it's still early. This is so far the low on day. but usually I don't like to put my stop loss right on the low on day, especially when I got the 20 PM moving average right there. So stop loss in this is I'm not going to put it way all the way down here. That's way too wide on this big gap up, on this gap up. But I don't want to put it right below that daily low because sometimes it'll just pick up some liquidity here and then fade higher. So stop loss on Tesla. Long story short here, call it 208.45. Okay, 208.45 stop loss on Tesla. All right, 208.45, close enough. And then if I do a risk profile on that on Tesla, what was it? 208.45, right? So 208, 208.45, boom, boom. Uncheck all this. This was yesterday's trade. It's a nice trade in Tesla yesterday. Oops, bought this one for 240. So in the event that stock price gets to 208.45, all right, what we bought for 240 would be risking about $1.40. I'm sorry, $1.50, $1.50, $1.60, depending on theta. Okay. Microsoft. Let's TP some Microsoft here. Take some profit on that. All right, got these for 270. These are going for about 350. So TP or take some profit on Microsoft here. All right. All right, is it going for 365 right now? Just put order out. Just got filled at 365 on Microsoft. They're going for 390 right now. You can TP some more here. Take some more profit here on Microsoft. The other ones, we have to be patient. We're not proven right, and we're not proven wrong. So be patient. All right, got filled here 380 on some Microsoft. All right, so already TP'd, took profit. Scaled out of some here. Twice. All right, now with Microsoft, what you could do is TP twice, and then we can start to move our trail our stop, right? Trail our stop, right? So there's that white dash line right there is VWAP. TP Meta, yeah, let me do that. Let me do that ASAP because Meta likes to. We have a phrase in the room sometimes. Zuck, don't get zucked. Zucked. So let's TP some Meta here. All right. Good job, folks. All right. All right. From 345 to 395 right now. We could TP some, take some profit, Meta. All right. $4 they're going for right now. $4.20, nice. I have an order up. They haven't filled me yet. Come on, fill me. There it is, $4.10. I'll take it. TP Tesla. You can see the phantoms in this room. These guys and girls are trained, y'all, on YouTube. If you're watching this YouTube, you got some monsters that are being developed at Phantoms. All right, Tesla. Let's TP. We got a new high pop here. Let's TP some Tesla. All right, the bottom one here, we got these for 240. They're going for about 260 right now. We can TP some here. I'm already over the limit time of what I would do here on YouTube. All right, let me see. Make sure you TPing here. Spies turn red on day, negative. Jeez, the fills are so late today. Jeez. Actually didn't even fill in profit there. That's annoying. AVGO. So AVGO so far the only one that's kind of giving a headache here. Let's see. How'd Apple? Yeah, I wanted to be a little cautious on Apple just because of that level as mentioned, right? So Google tough read today. All right, NVIDIA, nice. This premium probably collapsing a bit. So I'm offsetting some of my risk here. So I sold these at $1. They're going for 46. I'm gonna take a little bit of profit on this. I sold, the top one is the risk that I took, the $1.80 overnight that I'm wrong on. So I sold a bull put credit today to offset some of that loss here. I'm still gonna work on the video here today. But I sold this credit. Okay, so I'm already up 50% of what I'm gonna make here. So I'm gonna TP some here, sold it at 100. They're going for 53, so I'm gonna buy to cover some here on this cred. Just for now. Not everything, I'm still gonna work on it. But I could take, 40 cents here and then I'll reallocate the risk and funds on it. All right, I'm still gonna be in some, but I'm gonna take some off here and manage. All right, so I just got filled at nice 60, so 40 cent credit. All right, if we make we'll see if it comes down more lower. I might even do an iron condor on this too today. I'll work on this, so some of the phantoms know what that means. If some of y'all might even on YouTube may know what that means. So I'll work on some credit spread selling of NVIDIA. And why am I not buying to open options right now? Because implied vol is still fairly it's dropping. It dropped because of after earnings, but it's still fairly high, right? This was going for 190 yesterday, so it's about 80. So it dropped down. But if you're buying to open options in NVIDIA, you have to deal with what's called Vega drop. So that's not ideal. So what I'm looking to do is sell that Vega. All right. But be careful with that, because selling options, you got to know what you're doing. All right. So I want to be careful with that on YouTube. All right. I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but just gonna be careful online, right? All right, cool. So we distributed some here. Got Tesla, decent, still working on that. All right, stop loss. Okay, the more time that goes by, we'll see. You can start to trail up your stop. Okay. AVGO is the only one so far that really hasn't really proved us right, hasn't really proved us wrong. All right, so we'll see. Right now we're above daily VWAP, so we'll see if that continues to go for us there. NVIDIA is selling some credit, wrong on the earnings play. Not a really big mover, kind of a dud, selling some premium. Microsoft, good, new high. Let me TP some more Microsoft here right before I gotta go. So not bad here. If you got Microsoft, we bought these at 270, sold some at 365, 380. They go for 435 right now. So I'm gonna TP, take some more profit on onset of Microsoft here. And right off the open, not bad, not bad at all. 240, 425. Got filled on some Microsoft here. Excuse me. And begin to just continue to trail. Right now, our entry, there's that white dash line VWAP. So we have a nice little structural level. So yeah, you should be having your stop loss on your, and if you have still size on Microsoft, stop loss break even. Don't let that come back on you or hurt you. Or no give backs, right? No give backs. So TP, take profit, trail, stop. All right. Microsoft, now we have a impulse, correction, impulse. Here's VWAP. Okay, we don't have to take all this exposure on Microsoft now. We can kind of maybe bring that up. Aggressive. If you want to manage it aggressive, you can put your stop loss here. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, give it more time and space, you can put your stop loss now below daily low. Okay, after we get a nice little, after this move here, okay, it's giving us some structure to play with. Okay, if we make equal to or new high, TP some more. Okay, this is where I would, in the room, more in detail, we talked about what's called the liquidity map. Okay, so the Phantoms trained traders know kind of what I'm talking about here. All right, so continue to do what you need to do here. Okay, all right, we got some nice little structure. All right, nice little structure to work off of here. All right, so stop loss trail, TP Tesla, Microsoft as well. Let's go. Tesla new high. Let's take that. Tesla, TP some Tesla. Great job, Phantoms. And if you're new on YouTube watching this, get your ass in the room, baby. What you doing? Get in the room. Get in that room. Tesla 215 call going for about $2.99. $2.99. Let me take profit because my other fill on Tesla was like not good. I was sitting there waiting to get filled, and let me TP. Take profit. All right, cool. TP'd some there. Got 182 filled on those here. Again, stop loss trail, and yeah, not too bad. This is actually TP2. AVGO, new high. All right, we need a little bit more though on the option. Going good. Microsoft pump, TP some Microsoft. Y'all doing good? Microsoft pumped. He's going for 5. There you go. All right, Microsoft is up nearly 100% on the options here. So make sure you're distributing here. TP some, okay? So my Phantoms members in here, 545 Phil on these. My Phantoms members in here is today's tape so far very good. Yes or no? How's the conditions today, y'all? You guys? How's the condition today? Smooth. This line does not want to stop moving, so, all right. All right. Microsoft for the win. Big one there. All right, trail, trail, trail. All right, let runners go. Got some runners on. All right, stop loss beyond break even at this point. Can't hurt you no more. All right. Meta. You can unload a little meta too, equal to. All right. Apple trying to punch there. Visa was good this morning too. All right, not too bad, folks. Not too bad in the morning. Here, VIX on lows down 10%. Bullish. Cumulative tick higher. Microsoft and Apple in play today. And those are the two really big stocks. Two of the biggest and baddest. So there we go, AVGO. Let's see if this little new high here provided some premium pump here. All right, so I got a bad fill on AVGO. Right now it's like literally at break even. Well, it's a little bit up right now, so we'll see. I gotta give it a little more time so you can get a little more momentum. There we go, this is the pop. There we go, 465, there we go, 265. TP some AVGO here. All right, 270, nice, TP, AVGO. All right, so all the trades fairly perfect for the most part. Doesn't always happen like that, but nice follow through on setups. That's all you can ask for. All right, put yourself in the right time and space, and set up. And I can't move the markets. The markets can do what they do. So if the markets move and play and have fall through, I execute it. All right, so far this week, this is a nice little opening here. So enjoy it, get some. All right, let me TP some meta new high. All right, trail your stops. All right. TP some more meta here. PANW ripping. All right, just sold some off here. Meta 380. Microsoft, another new high if you want to TP some more there. AVGO just ripped some out there. Apple, oh no, that's Visa, sorry. Visa ripping today. Financials. PANW. Ooh, nice, ripping today too. Yep. Pollard COG territory, the Phantoms no, monthly, weekly, daily up. This is a line, nice pop, nice pop. That's what you want right there. Nice one. Alignment, boom, smooth. I'm late to it now, but some of the Phantoms know. Ooh, this was a good one. PANW, lined up, wide range bar off open, VWAP beautifully, positive COG. Ooh, nice one. All right, be patient on this now. You're late, so wait for pullback and take positive COG in the event that we get that. All right, but that lined up nice on the monthly, weekly, daily here. 60. Nice base break, 30, same thing, base, yesterday break. Today, this morning, coming from mean, wide range bar off open on the 5, inside bar, 1, 2, 3, go, boom, nice, classic setup right there. You can make a beautiful living on this setup right there. All right, the challenge is sometimes it doesn't always work like this, right? Depending on, now the reason why this works so well is because we have the multiple time frame analysis here. So it had inside bar, break, snapping. You see the monthly up, weekly up, daily up, pullback, positive COG, off the rising 20, rising 20. All right, probably snapping some VWAPs in here too, probably snapping its fade VWAP. So if you know what you're looking for, I'm telling you, when the market's set up, it's like one image. It's like an image in my brain that I know. Okay, it's a nice setup. Wide range bar off open. Base on the higher time frames. Check. Monthly, weekly, check. Intermediate time frames. Check. Base. Okay. Intermediate. 60-minute. 30-minute. Right. Check. Ding. Market open. Slight gap up. Okay. Wide range bar off open. Okay. Lined up. Boom. The rest is history. All right. The conditions and the setup is right. Okay. Good job, y'all. All right. Microsoft. Same thing, right? Almost. All right, folks, that's my time for now. All right, protect. Okay, plenty of profit taking available for y'all to be good to go. All right, stop loss management, go into management mode. Okay, trail your stops. Don't give back the morning moves and gains. Okay, but yeah, some of you Phantoms, hey, Joey G, my man, future legend in trading. Remember his name, Joey G. It even sounds smooth, my man. And y'all Phantoms know, protect those gains. All right, be patient. You can see S&P's still inside day, so just be patient on that. All right, haven't even traded SPYs right now, all right, because the conditions not great. So I'm going to other products or other tickers that are giving me some kind of higher quality edge. Microsoft out right above yesterday's gap, red bar down, gap up above that, nice setup there. I already went over PANW, Tesla, somewhat similar, not as great as Microsoft, but decent there. All right, Meta, PANW was way better than Meta today, but almost the same setup, monthly, weekly, daily, right? Meta, you can see right here, off the rising 20, similar to PANW, broke above yesterday's high, but PANW said, see ya, gone, right? Meta, a little bit more sluggish. All right, and then NVIDIA, all right, wrong on the earnings, but I'm not gonna, right? I took a loss on it. That's okay. You're wrong on earnings, but all good. And I'm gonna go in and work on that, and I'm gonna continue to sell some premium on this bad boy here. All right, I'm gonna do an iron condor, all right, on NVIDIA. All right. All right, that's it, folks. I gotta go. I already went over in time. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that. Again, if this kind of floats your boat and you wanted to join the team and the community, hit TradePhantoms.com. TradePhantoms.com. Hit register. That button right there. Basic stuff here. Put your name, email. You'll get sent a link. Today, being Thursday 29th, right, is actually unique because on Thursdays Phantoms hosts a 90-minute class, and basically you're gonna know what Phantoms is all about. And how we trade, and it's just basically how markets really work from a professional standpoint. Institutional order flow of demand supply, okay, with professional trading tools, like VWAP and things like that, that we discuss a lot more in detail, right? Multi-directional trading, up, down, sideways. Even if you're an options trader, okay, you can make money even if the market's kind of going sideways, okay. And not just one asset class. It's not just about stocks. It's not just about forex. It's about all assets, stocks, futures, forex, options, okay. All style of trade too, whether you're just starting out trying to trade a small account, all the way up to if you're managing wealth in longer term accounts for yourself as well. So trading for income, all the way to wealth management and wealth protection. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for everything, okay? Because myself, Mr. Blue here, Mr. Black, Mr. Green. Mr. Green's more forex intense. Mr. Black, supply demand guru, and I'm kind of just. I'm like everything. I'm everything. I trade everything: stocks, futures, forex, options, day trade, swing trade, everything. All right, I'm a mutt. All right, I'm mixed. All right, I'm mixed. I don't even know what I am. I'm just a mutt. All right, folks. God bless. Take care. Trade safe. Protect those gains. Keep what you made this morning. All right. Sit back, relax, and let this market develop, and manage your risk. All right. Trade safe. God bless. Take care. Blue out. Yes, sir, Donovan. Yes, sir.